Now, are you someone who finds yourself grabbing your neck after being stuck on your phone like this? Have you noticed that your posture has worsened with the amount of texting that you have to do these days? If you are, then this video is going to be helpful for you. My name is Dr. Mike, and I'm a physical therapist providing tips on how to build strength and longevity with your body. Today, I wanted to share with you some effective exercises that you can use to help reverse the effects of bad posture caused by texting on your phone. Now, the best part about this is that you only need to dedicate a minimum of 5 minutes a day, and you will see some significant changes. Now, before we dive into the content, if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up to support my channel. Now, in today's society, it seems as though it is impossible to not have any screen time. Most of our jobs and our day-to-day communication cause us to be staring down at our phones and looking at our computer screens for multiple times per day. And I know that we all have felt the effects of these poor postures, leading us to have neck tightness, a stiff upper spine, and aches and pains that sometimes result in even headaches. Now, it's inevitable. Technology is not going anywhere, and we will all most likely need to rely on these devices for daily function and work life. But it is important that you are taking care of your body and you're providing it with the right maintenance to prevent these postures from leading to more severe debilitating conditions down the road. Now let's get started with the routine. So the first exercise we're gonna start with is the cervical traction. Now, I've demonstrated this in some of my previous videos, but I thought it would be a great exercise to start with. Now, we know that when we're texting on our phone, our heads are kind of placed forward in front of our shoulders, and our head is actually looking down towards the ground, which causes a lot of the muscles of the neck to become overstretched. And really, a lot of the muscles of the front of the neck along the side of the neck become very tight. So a lot of the exercises that we're gonna focus on today are gonna help loosen things up, strengthen the back of the neck to really get us more in an upright posture. So the cervical traction, what we're gonna do is we're gonna place the thumbs underneath the ears here, and you're gonna place your hands along the back of the head, just like this. Okay, and what you're gonna be doing is we're providing a gentle distraction, a pulling away of the joints and the muscles to help move the skull away from the cervical spine. It sounds a little bit crazy, but once you start to put a gentle force upward, you'll start to relieve any pressure that is normally held at the bottom of the neck here. Now, if you're someone who suffers from maybe cervical radiculopathy, which means maybe you have a disc issue down in the neck and you're having some numbness down one arm, or maybe you're dealing with some headaches that are really triggered by some tightness behind the back of the skull, this is gonna be a helpful exercise for you. So we're gonna spend about a minute where we're pulling just underneath, we're kind of looping our thumbs underneath the ears, we're pulling upward on the head, and I should feel my head kind of moving upward towards the sky. And you can hold it there for about a minute, just gently pulling upward on the head. Also, you wanna make sure that as you're pulling, that you're not just pulling your head and your head kind of looks up towards the ceiling. You wanna keep your chin slightly tucked so the force of the pull is actually just straight up, okay? So from this view here, you can tell that my chin kind of stays down, but I'm lifting up my head up towards the ceiling, and you're gonna feel a nice decompression along the cervical spine there. The next exercise we're gonna use is a resisted chin tuck, okay? So we're gonna wrap a band, a resistance band around the back of our head. Now, I'm gonna post a link in the description below on the band that I'm using. This is a TheraBand red band, and I'm gonna wrap it over the top of my head here. Now, I'm not going on the neck area, but I'm going just above that bony prominence that you feel at the back of your skull. So just above there here, and you're gonna be supporting the band with your arms here. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your hands away from your head, and immediately you're gonna start to feel a lot of the muscles of the back of the neck, those cervical extensors, starting to really resist against the band, and it's pulling you away. Because most of the time when we're looking at our phones, we're looking down in this position. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you exercises to help facilitate and encourage a better posture when you're using your phone. So once again, you're placing the band over the top of your head. You're holding each end of the band in your hands. You're gonna work on pulling just gently the band away from your head, and you're gonna feel like you're resisting against the band, like you don't want the band to pull you forward. Obviously, you're using those muscles on the back of the neck to really activate and prevent yourself from falling forward, okay? And then you're gonna relax, and then you can pull again. Notice those muscles of the back of the neck are really working hard to prevent my head from being pulled forward by the band. So you're using an isometric contraction of the cervical extensors as you are pulling the band and trying to keep a nice alignment of the ear kind of over the shoulders there, just like that, okay? You can work on this for about 1 minute at a time, where you're going back and forth. You can even add some faster motions, and you're gonna facilitate and activate a lot of those muscles a little bit differently. Next, we're gonna move on to a simple chin tuck. Now you can do this against the wall, but actually I even do this while I'm driving against my headrest, okay? And you'll see how you can do this. Now, you're gonna be standing against the wall, and you're gonna be focusing on really making sure that your shoulder blades are nice and back, shoulders are back against the wall, versus being hunched like this trying to perform this exercise, okay? So you're focusing on performing a slight chin tuck by pushing the back of your head into the wall, using all the muscles of the back of the neck to retract that chin, okay? Also notice I'm not looking down or nodding down like that, and I'm not looking upward or trying to extend my neck. And notice I'm trying to keep my head nice and neutral as I really retract that chin. I even kind of tell my patients to kind of think about making a double chin, because then they can really focus on performing this exercise correctly. And once again, for about a minute, you can perform off and on, where you're really trying to see what it feels like to really use those muscles behind the neck versus always being stuck in this position here. So this is just gonna help correct some of that alignment of the neck there. So we know that when you're looking down at your phone, it's not only your neck causing all of the stress, but it's also the upper back, because you're in this rounded position. So what tends to happen is a lot of the muscles of the front of the chest and the shoulder tend to get very tight, and they pull your shoulders forward, which causes more stiffness on the upper back. So we're gonna work on the next exercise, which I've demonstrated in a past video. It is the snow angel, and I actually like this using a foam roller because it allows you to move your shoulders through further range of motion. Especially if you do this on the ground, it will be hard to kind of extend your arms out to the side. So you're gonna lay down on a foam roller, and notice that the foam roller is supporting my neck. It's not hanging off the edge. And I'm also trying to keep the lower back in contact with the foam roller, keeping my palms up just like this. When you extend your arms to the side, you're already gonna feel a lot of pulling on the chest, on the front of the shoulders. So even if you suffer from mid-back pain or shoulder pain or rotator cuff pain, this is going to be very helpful for you, okay? So your arms are gonna be at your side, and just like in the previous exercise, we said about a minute for each exercise. You're gonna work on just working on some snow angels, bringing those arms down at your side, and then trying your best to reach them all the way up overhead. You're gonna feel a nice good stretch. It's gonna be pulling, opening your chest wall up. And as you reach overhead, it's gonna get more difficult, and you'll come back down. And as you work on this, you can even start to incorporate some breathing into this. So as you go overhead, you can inhale, expanding the rib cage. And then as you go back down, you can exhale. Now we're letting all the air out, we're compressing. And you're really gonna feel a lot of the muscles of the chest and the shoulder, even in the biceps, stretch with each breath. You might even feel some click or some audibles in the upper thoracic spine, which is totally okay, It's your body kind of releasing that pressure that it needs there. Now for the last exercise, we're gonna work on the standing W. Now we're using that same resistance band that we used earlier, and we've already focused on really improving the posture by working the muscles of the neck. Now we're focusing on more of the muscles in the mid spine, which help kind of take us out of this forward position and really pull us backwards. So it would be useless if we only gave you exercises just for the neck, because we know that poor posture while using your phone is not just the neck, but it's also influenced by what's going on in the upper back. So this exercise is going to focus on the mid, upper back, lower trap, the rhomboids, all the muscles that help pull your shoulder blades back. We're going to use that band, and if you're at home, you can wrap this around a doorway. Just make sure that doorway is shut and locked so it doesn't kind of come back at you. But I'm going to use my rig here that's set up, and I'm going to wrap it around just like so. And with my body, I'm working on pointing my thumbs outward, and I'm going to make a W with my entire body. Now I'm doing this resisted because without any resistance, it feels quite easy. But for some of you, you may not even have to use resistance. So you're going to be starting with your hands out extended in front of you. You're going to work on pulling your thumbs backward, also retracting, pulling those shoulder blades back. And if you notice that my body is making a W, so I'm really taking myself out of this slumped position and really trying to use those shoulder blades and all the muscles of the upper back to pull myself backward in a nice, good position. Do not allow your rib cage to flare by opening up and forgetting about what's going on in your core muscles. I still want you to keep those core muscles rigid and stiff so you're nice and aligned. But as you're working on this, you're working on really feeling the muscles of the shoulder blades working. And when you're doing this, you can work on between 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions at a time, which should not take you very long, especially when you're working on this with repetitions that are quite easily to complete, just like that. Now, I hope you found these exercises helpful. Remember, don't get caught up in feeling like you have to work on these exercises 2 or 3 times per day. Something as little as 5 minutes can make a huge difference and will make you more aware about your posture. Now, I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel to never miss a video and leave a comment below on how these exercises worked out for you. I'll see you in the next one.